From the banks of the Allegheny, welcome to Film Bits 7, Part 5. I cliffhanged you guys with the last episode. There's about to be a discovery made by Somerset here at the Greed murder site. So let's find that discovery and jump in right now. I love how he just bends over the the desk like Somerset can't imagine what being effed with is like. Here we have some fingerprints. It's one of my favorite reveals right here.
Oh, man. Honestly, have you ever seen anything like this?
I love that slow pan up to his eyes for the emphasis. Help me. Ay, ay, ay. Help me, written in fingerprints. It's such a killer idea.
I don't know, man. I say he's whacked enough.
Doesn't fit. He didn't want us to help him stop.
Who knows? So many freaks out there doing their little evil deeds they don't want to do. The voices made me do it. My dog made me do it. Jodie Foster told me to do it.
You know, I've seen this baby take as long as 3 days to make a match, so maybe you guys want to cross your fingers somewhere else.
Big picture, little picture.
Mills
Mills is a little picture guy. Somerset is a big picture guy. Again, wall, off-white. Might even be looked at green. Definitely green lighting on it. If we are seeing all this green, I mean, green is often a sickly kind of color. Even the emojis that we use on our phones, the getting sick emoji throws up green vomit. The I'm about to get sick emoji is colored green. The coronavirus emoji is colored green. So green definitely has a negative connotation. And by Fincher filling his world with this color, even though it's not a bright green, it's an off pastelish, kind of unsaturated green, it just gives us the pervasive mood of the sickness, of the disease, if you will, that's going on in this city, particularly surrounding this case as we see our investigators there. Very subtle, works on an almost subconscious level, and it establishes a visual motif for us to, go back and analyze as we're doing right now. The possibility of why there is such a preponderance of green in a fairly colorless film, and even at that, the colors we get are usually very unsaturated. Let's pick it back up. I like this shot of the narrow hallway. They're almost swallowed by the couch. It's almost like the place is more important than they are right now because we're in a long, now we close in a little bit. More of a medium shot. Probably switch the shot because of the import of Somerset's commentary. And now we go close. And now we even do a push-in. There's all sorts of little subtle things Fincher doing here. Significance of what Somerset is saying. And Mills not wanting to hear it. Green ashtray. Also, the age of that ashtray. That is freaking old school, boy. That's such a great shot. I love that shot, man. That's one of my favorite comedy. In a film lacking comedy, that's one of my favorite comedy moments. So there's a connection between whoever this guy is, this Victor that they're going to, and Eli Gould, the victim who was Greed. But Mills and Somerset aren't with this Interesting shot of the light. You know, we got a lot of light there. One would assume no rain. Oh, no, there's rain. So even when there's sunlight out, there's rain. Interior of the car, kind of greenish or lit in a green kind of way. So off-white to green. Particularly in that back seat. Somerset's concern, and we can interpret that any number of ways. Maybe he's happy he's getting out of this thing. Maybe he's just sad that a fellow law enforcement officer got hit. Old school fire escapes. This is filmed in downtown Los Angeles, these scenes. Even a greenish hue to that fluorescent light there. That's a fun little angle. Skid Row, I mean, just, you know, apartments that are gross, inhabited by prostitutes, probably drug addicts, the homeless that have a place to find. Hey, green paint on that wall. Hey, more green. A lot of green. Eh? I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I guess I'm doing that. It's a lot bigger apartment than I thought it would be, based on its size. You know, the surroundings. Green inside, too. Now, look at this shot right here. Now, this is set design and set decoration, right? When you're in the theater and you see this immediately. Now, obviously, the film is still moving, but what a great idea. Because you're immediately going, why are there all these car fresheners? Is someone obsessed with car fresheners? Is this just like cheap decoration for a dingy apartment? You know, you're going to buy something for 89 cents or what have you to decorate your apartment, but there are dozens of them. I just love this touch. All set decor. Could very well have been in the screenplay. Don't know, haven't read the screenplay. They have a purpose, which we'll soon learn. But visually, I think it's just so attractive. It grabs the eye, but it also fills us with wonder and not necessarily confusion, although maybe, but definitely makes us curious. Pick it back up. Those lights, just like we saw in the gluttony scene. I love that, where you see the beam. Dicks, slang for detectives. Now we know what the fresheners are for. Ah, there's our next sin. That brought a scare in the movie theater. I remember when first watching it. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. A killer who has kept a man alive for a year. So that means he knows that this is going to go on for a long, long time. He has premeditated all of this. So Sloth, for as far as we know right now, is his first victim. And he's been deteriorating him for a year, right? And then the amount of time it took for him to build gluttony, to fatten gluttony to the point of dying, bursting literally from the insides. And then to get the lawyer that had represented Sloth, had represented Victor, to get him to be greed. This is a master planner. This is a man with time, obvious motivation, means, method, all of it. It's just the scope of this killer and his acts is really kind of mind-bending when you consider it and think about what he's doing. This big, elaborate puzzle, this trail of breadcrumbs that constantly leave the police behind, never ahead. They can't anticipate him. They don't know where he's going next, even though they know now there are 4 more crimes to be committed, 4 more murders to be committed, and they even have a theme, because of the 7 deadly sins, in which those murders will be committed. So they kind of have a vague direction. But this killer, one of the best written screenplays, period, start to finish. But this character of the killer, this unknown killer, and his machinations is just outstanding. It's just creepy. Obviously, real-life serial killers aren't like this, but at the same time, they also have their ferocious strengths and their scary aspects to them. Anyway, more and more green, as I mentioned. Now we see why we needed the air fresheners. That's where we're going to end this one. We'll pick it back up. We're almost halfway through. See you the next time. Take care.